Welcome to the Followers of the Apocalypse camp near Tucson in the contested region between Caesar's Legion and the NCR. As you know, joining the Followers of the Apocalypse, you're here to provide medical aid, food, and assistance to those who live in the wasteland, those of us that are not willing to tolerate the authoritarian control of the NCR, nor bow our knee to the theocratical nonsense of Caesar's Legion. That, however, puts us in a dangerous situation, and you're going to inevitably find conflict while traveling the wastes. While your ultimate goal is to provide medical support to those that live out here in the wastes, the reality is you need to be handy with the iron as well. We have 3 stages today, training events, to put you through the paces to make sure that you're capable of handling whatever you may come across. Stage 1 is simulating a conflict with Caesar's Legion. In that regard, you will be moving back and forth from difficult positions and engaging the Legion, while also their dogs that they ultimately tend to beset upon us. Even their dogs are wild and rabid.
It was a better experience. No, nothing. No. Hit.
So the concept of a human enhanced person was kind of cool.
I thought so, yeah.
Like, okay, we're enhancing you to the point you can fight these things, but there's like a severe physical cost for it.
Yeah. I liked that. Like, she's like insulin and all sorts of drugs up the whole time to not destroy her body.
And I think it was basically like, even if like you did get killed, like the most you would live is like 10 years after all that shit or something.
Hit. 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 Hit.
Everything you once loved.
That one right by that rock there.
Hit.
Look at that.
Hit. Hit.
There. See, look at
Hit. I'm like, I could put a big clutch up.
There's actually some good war sequences that I want to play. Yeah, what's the one they're doing that's kind of like Vermintide?
it's the one that takes
Dark Tide.
Yeah. It's high stakes, 4-player.
Left 4 Dead kind
Just
of.
put it on happy switch.
Oh, really?
Drop it
And then
first.
there's
Hit.
another
God damn, you know when you hit.
be Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
The second stage will be fighting the NCR, far more organized, much more technical, and they have drones.
Hit. Hit. Hit.
High left. High left. High left.
Hit. Go.
Yeah, poly bullets are usually a longer.
High.
Hit.
Hit. High. High. High left. High right. High left. High.
I had to make a bet.
Yeah, that's like
Straight up.
You're consistent. High.
Hit.
Yeah, but no, I can totally.
Hit.
Okay.
Hit.
But I bear that in mind.
Oh, there's my other full pro. Hit. Is it really a joint thing? Yeah, I forget how nice they shoot. Yeah, super nice. It's a bone stock. The fact that it's amazing. But I just missed it. I bought it
the mag.
Hey, you know who's pushing?
Bottom
It's
spinner.
Jane, it's my wife. She wants that.
Stay, Joe. Got it.
Woo! Do not ever use a shovel handle AK. You can see we're back at base, and I have some lessons to impart to you as well. I mentioned earlier in the video that you want to use the gun that's reliable, not necessarily the most modern equipment. But there's a limit to that statement, and this might be that limit. Obviously, this has been repaired with stuff that we could find in the wastes. But the reality is, there is no consistent cheek weld. So what's happening is, when you're using iron sights, trying to line up and get the iron sight picture with this consistently is extremely difficult. When you tandem that with actually strange shooting positions under barricades in situations you might find yourself at in the wasteland, this becomes a very difficult rifle to use. Now, in terms of reliability, it was 100% reliable, and at close range, pretty irrelevant. If you actually have to engage targets past, I don't know, 50 yards, you're going to have a serious problem. So if you can replace your ersatz stock with a legitimate one before going out into the waste, that will absolutely increase your survivability against the NCR and Caesar's Legion. And the third and final stage is actually a training stage that we've acquired from a radio transmission from the NCR called the Wasteland Shuffle.
NCR military recruiting officers and personnel, listen up. We've got a real demand for troops out here in the Mojave front lines, and we need every able body that we can find into the field. Capable bodies. Now, Hires approved a new program to fast-track your more capable wastelanders, survivalists, and gunslingers into our ranks. This program is called the Advanced Recruit Selection and Evaluation, aka the ARS for short. Who the fuck comes up with these acronyms? The Colonel. Okay, yep, I'm good. Now, the ARS course has an entry test. The ARS entry test, aka the Wasteland Shuffle. The ARS entry test is something that you may do by yourself, or with your unit, with just a single mini IPSTIC steel target and a 100-meter range. Now, there are two options for your new recruits to go towards, and the loadout for the ARS entry test depends on which unit they would like to join. Now, if the recruit is trying out for the 1st Recon Battalion sharpshooters, they will run this test with a full-power bolt-action pre-war surplus or hunting rifle with a 4-power or lower magnification scope and a .22 pistol, preferably silenced, but it's okay if it's not. If the recruit is trying out for the regular army, they will run this test with an iron-sighted Kalashnikov in 7.62 by 39 type semi-automatic rifle. Now, this is a survivalist's favorite, and our demonstration here is done with a Chinese Type 56 assault rifle, which is not our service rifle, but we've been seeing a lot more of these in the Mojave. The Wasteland Shuffle can be set up at any 100-meter or 100-yard location with just a single mini IPSTIC steel target. Now, this is a timed event. The faster they hit the targets, the better, but they will take a 5-second penalty every miss, meaning every single time they fail to strike the target, they will have 5 seconds added to their final time. Now, there are two phases to the Wasteland Shuffle. Phase 1 is at 100 meters, shot between two stations that are 10 meters apart from each other. For the 1st Recon Battalion recruits, are using their choice of a bolt-action hunting or surplus rifle and a .22 pistol. The objective to the sharpshooter recruit loadout is to hit the target at the 100-meter or Phase 1 line with all 8 shots with no misses. The recruit will drop prone and fire no more than 2 shots at each station prior to displacing. They must attempt every shot. If there are no misses, they are done. If there are any misses, the recruits will run down to the 15-meter phase 2 line and shoot all 10 rounds into the target with their .22 pistol. Remember, each miss adds 5 seconds to their final score. For the regular Army recruits using the pre-war 7.62 Kalashnikov rifle of their choice and only iron sights, the objective for the infantry recruits loadout is to hit the target at phase 1, the 100-meter line, with all 12 shots with no misses. The recruit will drop prone and fire no more than 3 shots at each station prior to displacing. They must attempt every shot. If there are no misses, they are done. If there are any misses, they will run down range to 50 meters, reload, and fire 3 rounds from each station, freestyle, until they have acquired all 12 hits. Remember, each miss adds 5 seconds to the final score. This particular test rewards marksmanship, but also physical fitness. And it can be a good guideline for our ARS assessment. We want troops who know how to use equipment that we have access to in the field. That means limited scopes and iron sights, since you can't get any batteries in this post-apocalyptic wasteland.
This is why the NCR doesn't recruit scientists. That one's full auto?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
What is going on?
Hi, right. Check 0.
Genuine, over 100 years old, Marlin Rockwell, model 1918. That's still up to spade. But, right? Probably 1918, maybe 1919.
So it was the A1 or A2 or whatever.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's original, although I got later model, I got Korean War stock and foil, just because I don't want to beat up the original.
Yeah, the original stuff, absolutely. Yeah.
These guns hold up pretty well over time. Yeah.
It's the same action as 250.
Those things are like damn near indestructible. John Browning knew his shit. A little complex.
Good action.
All right, so it is absolutely possible to clean this course of fire prone with the 9130 sniper, but you'll notice how high the optic offset is on this gun. And the reality is, when the Soviets designed this, they designed it not necessarily for prone use, although you could. It was really meant for when you were offhand or on a barricade or a rest, and that's where this kind of high offset optic actually kind of shines. So this is actually, using this prone is the worst case scenario with this glass, in my opinion, and it's very easy to not only have this really slick butt plate slip off your shoulder and therefore throw a shot, but also it's hard to keep a good, consistent weld with that very high offset. Now, if you're shooting it off a barricade, it doesn't matter as much. And in fact, I tend to find this easier to shoot offhand, meaning just standing. Let's see if that's true. It's actually easier to shoot this offhand than prone, and that's because of how high the optic is. Knowing that many people were going to be using this gun at the match, and this was essentially a stage gun, I actually re-zeroed this for what most people would use an AK for, which is center of mass hold, meaning you get essentially a pistol type sight picture, but the front post is right in the middle of the target you're aiming at. Personally, I prefer a 6 o'clock hold with these style sights because it allows you to see more of what you're aiming at than normally when you use a center of mass hold with an AK, you're really covering up most of the target with the front post.
Yeah, because I got right after I read.
See that patch?
I
Yeah, because you yanked them. They were all right, both of them.
And the soft house could go beautiful. Yeah, I just have my like chest ring.
I do like
Be
watching
the
Vegas
only one in
shootings.
our squad that didn't have. We had
Oh no, so
this guy with an AK.
I may not have to reload it.
Run down range. We need to make a 3. Move after every 3 hits. Good shot.
Yeah. I'm sure there is.
Come look us up in Tucson. You can find us at InRange.tv/watch. And if you want to support the cause, you can do that via Patreon.com/InRange. If you're already there, thank you for being with us. If you're not, please consider it. But most of all, share this information with your friends. It might save their life. Thank you.